Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. Today, as you can see by the title, we are reviewing Black Boy by Richard Wright. This book right here, I picked this up because I read Native Son by Richard Wright and somebody suggested that I read Black Boy. This is actually about Richard Wright's life. It's traumatic, it's heavy, it's inspiring at times, it's hectic at times, busy, sad, surprising at times, and eye-opening at times. It's a very intriguing story. It's this coming of age story where it's pretty much set up into two parts. The first half of the book focuses on his childhood, growing up in a segregated South, and then him like desperately trying to leave the South for a lot of reasons, but because of like the weight of racism. And then the second part of the book, which focuses on his experience with the Communist Party. Just like Native Son, there are themes of obviously racism, but also themes of the individual versus society. This book is full of hunger. It's full in more ways than one. Yes, like physical, literal hunger, like craving and starving for food, but also hunger in a lot of different ways, like looking for a sense of self and purpose, trying to find your place, hungering for something more than what you're used to and what you've grown accustomed to. If you've ever felt like you didn't fit in, not just like superficially, but fundamentally you didn't fit in, you think differently, you have a different outlook on life, it's some things that you just won't accept, that everybody's telling you to accept, it's some ways that you're expected to conform that you literally can't do it. Like everything in your being is fighting against like social conformity. That's what this book is to me, like through and through. That's what I got reading it the entire time. So yeah, like I said, the first half of the book is talking about his upbringing and his childhood in the Deep South. We get to learn about his mom, his daddy, their relationship, and then their relationship with each other, but also their relationship with him as well. And how that probably, certainly, most assuredly affected him and the decisions that he made after a while. Some of the books were shocking. Like there are every book that I read on here or I review on here, please check your trigger warnings because almost every book has triggers in it for sure. Yeah, but you get to learn about his family, you get to learn about his dad and his mom, then his grandma when they went to go live there. You get to hear about him finding his way, him figuring out where he fits in the world, him falling in love with literature and chasing his dream despite everything, him doing what he wants to do, even though other people tell him not to. You also get to see a very candid look at his religious life. Like you get to see as a kid how he viewed church, how he viewed being saved, how he viewed church people. And then you get to see when he gets older how he views people that he meet that are religious or not, people that he meet that are atheists. And then you get to see like how he looks at all of that. You get to see what he thinks about the Communist Party internally and then what he did as far as his actual actions when he was involved with them. And it's just so much. I kept finding myself like, at the very beginning, I really had to remind myself like, oh, he's 4 years old at this part. Like he's six doing this. That's wild. Or like he's not even 10 doing XYZ. But then he gets into like this high schoolish age and you get to see him like interact with girls, get to see him interact with still his family and just coming to, you know what I mean? He was intelligent and he knew it. Other people knew it. And you kind of get to see how that plays out, especially being surrounded by so many uneducated, unintelligent people. And I'm not even saying that rudely, but just like matter of factly, People was not sitting there trying to figure out how to like write and read to their fullest extent. They were working, you know what I mean? So it's interesting to see that. And then even his accounts of the stories, like you have to kind of step back and see or realize that it's him telling the story, you know? But one thing I really liked about this book is, even though like I like a memoir that's super reflective, and even though this is not like 100% like cause and effect, I learned this, I didn't learn that, it's a subtle reflectivity in it that I can appreciate. And I think that just speaks to how good of a writer he is. Like, it's reflective without being overt. I thought that was brilliant. Like, I was reading and like, wow, like even the way he worded it, kind of, it like leads you to knowing like this is a reflective moment without actually saying something like hardcore reflective. I appreciated that. Enjoyed the reading through and through. I did look and see after I read it that initially the publishers didn't want the second half of the book. Like, they didn't want to hear about him in his adult years after he left the South and trying to like find himself as a writer, and his dealings with the Communist Party. They didn't want that piece. They only wanted like him in the South. And while I do think that was more entertaining, it was more fast paced, it was more shocking, like the shock value was there, I still feel like both parts kind of told a complete story, you know? So I'm glad that it's in the book. I'm glad that it made the cut, because I feel like though it wasn't as quick, as fast, it wasn't like action, 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 it was still really good. It still helped you understand like how his mind worked. It helped you understand the stuff he was facing and how his childhood developed into young adulthood. Like, you can see remnants of these things pop up in his adult life. So I thought it was interesting. I thought it was really, really good. I actually understand why people really recommended this book after I read Native Son. I'm glad I read it. It was so good. So good. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say about it, except if you're looking for, and here's the caveat. There are speculations that some of his story isn't true. I just want to be honest about it. There are people who doubt the validity of some of the things he said. But when I read it, yes, I'm looking at it as like an account of Richard Wright's life, but I'm also looking at it like a black boy growing up in Jim Crow South. You know what I'm saying? Richard Wright or not. Yes, it's his life, but that's just the way I look at it. So just want to be open about that piece. But I thought it was good. I'm glad I read it. It's written well. Yeah, and I feel like y'all, if y'all haven't read it, check it out. Check it out. To me, it was good. But yeah, that's it, y'all. I'm gonna see y'all on the next one.